What if someone actually found the numerical name of God, and the universe itself shut them down before they could share it? Now that's not a metaphor, that's the plot of Pi. But here's where nobody tells you. Director Darren Aronofsky, he didn't invent that premise, he reported it. Every piece of sacred geometry, every Kabbalistic reference, every gematria sequence in the film is rooted in real esoteric tradition. And he embedded it so precisely that most people watched a math movie and missed the entire initiation hidden inside it. So with that being said, today we decode Pi, the real version. On the surface, Max Cohen is a mathematician, obsessive, isolated, and brilliant. But esoterically, Max is the archetypal seeker, the uninitiated man who stumbles into divine knowledge before he spiritually prepares to hold it. This is one of the oldest archetypes in mystery school tradition. The man who finds the sacred before the sacred finds him. In Hermetic traditions, this figure shows up constantly. Someone who tries to take gnosis rather than earn it through initiation. Now notice how Max lives. He's sealed off from the world, controlled environment, controlled diet, controlled thoughts. He's already performing a kind of ascetic discipline, but it's driven by fear and obsession, not spiritual surrender. That distinction matters, because the universe in this film responds to his frequency, not just his intellect. So now Max's mentor, Soul. His name literally means son in Hebrew and Spanish. Soul is the initiated one, the one who found the pattern, touched it, and consciously stepped back. He tries to warn Max. Max doesn't listen, and that is the whole film right there. So let's talk about Pi, 3.14159. Because Aronofsky chose this number specifically, and it wasn't arbitrary. Pi is what mathematicians call a transcendental number. It cannot be expressed as a simple fraction. It never repeats, it never ends. It is literally infinity. In sacred geometry, the circle is the symbol of God. No beginning, no end. The perfect form. And Pi is the ratio that governs the circle. It is a numerical fingerprint of divine geometry. Now the Egyptians knew this. The Great Pyramid of Giza, when you measure its perimeter and divide by twice its height, you get pi to several decimal places, in a structure built thousands of years before modern mathematics officially discovered it. Now even the Parthenon in Rome, pi is embedded in all of them. These weren't accidental, they were signatures. So when Max is chasing a pattern in the stock market through pi, what he's actually doing esoterically is trying to use the language of divine geometry to predict material reality. He's trying to speak God's math and have the physical world answer back. That is literally what Kabbalists were doing with gematria. Now here's where it gets precise. The Jewish Kabbalists in the film, led by Lenny Myers, are not subplot. They are the esoteric spine of the entire story. They tell Max directly they are searching for the 216th digit, name of God. 216. Let's break that down because this number is doing heavy lifting. 216 is 6 times 6 times 6. That's the first layer. In Kabbalistic traditions, 216 is a number of letters in the hidden unspeakable name of God, the Shem HaMefarash. This name appears in Exodus 14, verse 19, 20, and 21. Each verse contains exactly 72 Hebrew letters. 72 times 3 equals 216. The Kabbalists believe that Moses used this 216 letter name to part the Red Sea. This is not fiction, this is actual Torah mysticism that Aronofsky researched and put directly into the script. Now here's the geometry layer on top of that. 6 to the third equals 216. The cube is the symbol of Saturn in sacred geometry, the black cube. The Kabbal, the Star of David, as a 2D projection of a cube. Saturn governs time, limitations, karma, and the material reality that we live in. A 216-digit number that equals 6 cubed, hidden in the name of the divine, is telling you that God's name encodes the structure of physical reality itself. Now there's a scene where Max finally sees the 216-digit number and has a full neurological breakdown. He can't process it. His mind shatters. This mirrors an exact concept in Kabbalistic teachings, the idea that certain level of divine knowledge cannot be accessed by a mind that hasn't been properly prepared. In the Zohar, this is literally described. 4 rabbis entered Pardes. The divine orchard, meaning esoteric knowledge. One died, one went mad, and one became a heretic. Only one, Rabbi Akiva, entered in peace and left in peace, because he was initiated. Max is the rabbi who went mad. Now, Aronofsky hid the geometry in the film itself, not just the script. The entire movie is shot in high contrast black and white. This is not aesthetic. Black and white is the visual language of duality. The two pillars of Solomon's temple, Boaz and Joachim, light and dark, the seen and unseen. Max is living inside a world of duality, trying to find the unified pattern beneath it. Now, another big symbol is the spiral that appears constantly throughout the film. The spiral staircase Max walks, the pattern of the go board, the Fibonacci spiral he draws, and this is intentional. The Fibonacci sequence leads directly to the golden ratio, pi 1.618, which appears throughout nature as the growth pattern of shells, galaxies, DNA, plant structures, and even the human body. It is the geometric signature of life itself. In one of the most important scenes, Max watches an ant colony on his desk. He's disgusted by it, tries to destroy it, but esoterically that ant colony is showing him exactly what he's looking for. The ants operate as a unified intelligence with no central brain, a collective consciousness organized by invisible mathematical law. The universe was showing him the answer, and he was too in his ego to receive it. The Go board is also not random. Go is one of the oldest strategy games on Earth, and is based on territory, pattern recognition, and emergence. The idea that complex order arises from simple rules. Aronofsky used it to show that Max already intuitively understood how the universe organizes itself. He just can't accept that he is also the subject to those same organized principles. At the end of the film, Max takes a drill to his own head. Most people read this as a breakdown, a mentally ill man destroying himself. That is the profane reading. The esoteric reading is Max performs a trepanation, the ancient practice of drilling or cutting into the skull. This practice was performed in ancient Egypt, Peru, and across Indonesia's cultures worldwide. The purpose was to open the skull and release pressure on the brain, specifically believed to activate higher states of consciousness and allow divine communication. Ancient skulls with evidence of trepanation have been found across every major ancient civilization. Max drilling into his own head is the film's most occult moment. He is not destroying his mind, he is releasing it. And the scene that follows confirms this. He sits outside in peace, sees a child, and simply is. No obsession, no pattern, no noise, pure presence. He didn't lose his gift. He lost his ego's grip on the gift. That is the initiatory death and rebirth. That is the same symbolism in every mystery school tradition, from the Egyptian Osirian rites to Freemasonic third-degree ritual. You must symbolically die to the profane self before the higher self can operate freely. The number is gone from his mind because he no longer needs it. He became it. Now it's interesting because Pi came out in 1998. It was Aronofsky's debut film, made for $60,000. He didn't stumble into the symbolism, he studied it. He embedded it with precision, and he put it in a movie that the mainstream dismissed as an indie math thriller. The number 216, the Shem HaMephorash, the Fibonacci spiral, the trepanation, soul as the sun, the unified seeker who breaks before he bows. This film is a complete Kabbalistic initiation story disguised as a psychological thriller. They put it in plain sight, but now you see it. Now if this hits different, you already know what to do. Like, share this with somebody who's ready to have this conversation, and subscribe. But I'll see y'all in the next one.